Hello and welcome to this tips and techniques video from Master Your Photography. In this series we've carefully crafted a collection of short videos designed to provide you with key points on specific topics without any of the unnecessary waffle. Our goal is to give you practical information that you can immediately apply to your own photography. We understand that your time is precious, so we've condensed each video to deliver concise, actionable information. With our tips and techniques series, you'll gain the knowledge and the confidence to improve your photography in no time at all. So, that's probably enough waffle, let's get started. In this video, I want to talk to you about colour temperature. You see, every light source has a colour temperature, and we measure this with the Kelvin scale. Now, our eyes are very adaptable, and we can look at a scene and it doesn't really matter what the main illumination is, what the colour temperature of it is. Our brain corrects the colours, and so we see the scene as natural as possible. But our cameras can't do this, so what we have to do is we have to tell our camera what the colour temperature is of the main light source within the scene that we're photographing, and we do this by setting the white balance. The default white balance setting on most cameras is something that you may find is labelled as AWB, and that stands for automatic white balance. Now what this means is, when you take a photograph, your camera will analyse the scene and it will try to guess what the main light source colour temperature is, and then use an appropriate white balance. Now most of the time it will probably do a good job for you, but what you can find is even between several frames of the same scene, you will get slight differences in colour balance, and so sometimes it's better to switch to one of the presets, which will actually clearly define exactly what the light source is. Now you'll find these presets are usually labelled with little symbols and, a sunshine for daylight, a cloud for a cloudy day, a light bulb for tungsten or incandescent lighting indoors, etc. Now these will fix the white balance for you, so you won't get variations between frames. But again, you might find that sometimes they're not quite giving you exactly the result that you want. If that's the case, then that's when you need to switch to custom white balance. And this is where you can actually dial in directly a Kelvin value for the colour temperature that you want to use. This will give you the most accurate results, and it will ensure that the colours are as accurate and as natural looking as possible. Let's take a look at how the different presets will render the same scene. So here we have the first image shot using the automatic white balance, the AWB setting, and to be fair, it's done a fairly decent job of it. If we now try some of the other settings, such as the shade one, now remember the shade one is where the light source is very high in terms of its Kelvin value. It's a very blue light source. So the reason that the picture now looks more orange or golden is because the white balance setting for shade is trying to filter out that blueness, and in doing so it makes it warmer. Now you might like that warm effect, or it might be a bit too much. If we look at the cloudy one, it's not quite as warm. Daylight and flash are virtually identical, and they're very similar to the automatic white balance setting. The fluorescent one is a little bit weird, and the tungsten one does the opposite of the shade one and makes the final image look really blue. As to which one is the most accurate, well, to a certain extent that comes down to personal preference. You can disregard, say, the tungsten and the fluorescent one because the colours just look a little bit weird. The automatic white balance version has actually done a half decent job. I think for preference, the daylight or flash one just has that extra bit of warmth in the images, and for me they look a little bit more inviting, even if the automatic one is potentially the most natural looking. The white balance setting is primarily a technical function on your camera, and its aim is to ensure that you get the most natural looking colours, but we can use it in a creative fashion. Here we've got a shot of a Christmas market, and the lady's been illuminated with the lighting that's coming from the stall, which is primarily tungsten or incandescent light. So it's quite a warm light, and the tungsten setting has filtered out that warmth and just made the colours look fairly natural. Now if we change the white balance setting, so we lower the colour temperature, then we can actually make that shot look much more wintry and bluer and colder. Conversely, if we increase the colour temperature, we can make it look much more golden and warm and inviting. So neither of those shots are accurate in terms of colour, but you may find that they're actually a lot more inviting. It's worth mentioning that if you shoot JPEGs in your camera, then the white balance setting that you use is baked into the file, and you can tweak it to a certain extent in post-production, but not a great deal without causing all sorts of other problems with colours. If on the other hand you're shooting RAW files, then you actually have the ability in post-production to change the white balance setting, and it gives you much more control. So not only is that useful if you want to get natural colours, but it actually is a brilliant creative tool as well. Thank you for tuning in to Master Your Photography's Tips and Techniques series. We hope you found this video useful and practical. Remember, each photo you take is a stepping stone towards becoming a better photographer. So get out there and capture the world in your own unique way. Until next time, happy shooting.